Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're looking at this, bienvenidos a mi canal. Gracias por estar aquí otra vez. Este es Café y Chisme con Ray, podcast episode 6, I believe. So thank you so much for all of my rays of light for you guys being here. This is my Cafe and Chisme with Ray, podcast episode 6, I believe. And in this one, there's going to be we're going to be going in all kinds of directions. I got my tea here and my mug. Look at my mug. It says, my boo is hotter than my coffee. So I got that at Home Goods in Houston when I was in Houston. Which again, reminder, I will be in Houston on October 19th for my psychic night, where I'll be reading anybody that comes. It's $30 per person, and you get to meet me and you get a reading. It's going to be in a gallery style, so meaning that it's like an audience sitting. So it's not necessarily private, but I'm very respectful with the messages that come through. Anyways, gracias por estar aquí. Vamos a estar hablando de los huracanes, de los sistemas que están sucediendo ahorita, la clima que estamos teniendo que es aquí en los Estados Unidos, pero en todas partes del universo. So what I'm saying is we're going to be talking about the hurricanes, the weather systems, predictions that I see. A lot of people don't want me to talk about this. And when I say people, I mean the people in power and whatnot. And I say this because I actually was recording this on TikTok. And I was not able to complete the recording. They shut it off completely. There must have been some words or something that I said that they don't like, and the algorithms over there are a lot more stronger. So estaba en TikTok, estaba grabando este video. No estaba usando Zoom como normalmente uso y me pagaron el video. Se acabó, no pude terminarlo. O sea que hay ciertas palabras, ciertas cosas que desde lo que estaba diciendo que no les pareció o no les cayó bien y me quitaron el video. So basically, I'm just telling everyone, all of my Spanish speaking folks that that's exactly what happened. So I have my tea here. I'm going to pull some cards and we're going to do a little bit of a reading. I'm here to say that as a survivor and a victim of Hurricane Harvey in 2017, I know firsthand how devastating a hurricane can be. Como yo pasé por huracán Harvey en el 2017, yo sé primeramente cómo es sufrir, cómo es perder todo lo que tienes y tener que ir a un lugar donde te tienes que quedar con mucha gente y luego con un hotel y cómo trabaja FEMA. So I was just saying, I know how it is to live in a shelter, and that was the darkest period for myself back in 2017. I do believe Harvey was bioengineered weather seeding. And I do believe that a lot of the things that we're seeing right now, these are not normal systems. If you're listening to this and you're in Florida, get out from the path. If you're going to be in the direct path, evacuate. Please take it seriously. I know that a lot of Floridians are like, well, I've been through a lot of hurricanes and blah, blah. This is not just like any other hurricane. This is going to be a hurricane for the books. It's going to be very catastrophic. It's going to be very, very much like things that we haven't seen. It might die down to a category 4, but I do believe si estás en Florida, si vives en Florida y estás en rumbo de donde viene el huracán, sugiero que se vayan. Que no se queden en sus casas, que se vayan, porque yo miro destrucción con este sistema que viene en camino. No va a ser como otros sistemas. Yo sé que han pasado por muchos huracanes, pero va a ser uno que va a ser bien mal, bien, no va a haber mucha destrucción a las propiedades, a edificios. So what I was saying is there's a lot of destruction that's going on with this hurricane. I do feel like it's not normal. A lot of these weather patterns are being bioengineered. And if you do think about it, it is very weird that this is happening right around election time. And, Florida is known as a red state. So it's been hit by Hurricane Helene. It's been hit now. Is going to be hit by Milton. But the Carolinas were also hit. A lot of these states are being impacted. And I do believe that, recently the news tried to refute something that a former president said about, FEMA not having the money, that they used to, or the government not sending support. And I do believe that there is truth in that. I do believe from a psychic perspective, what I've always seen is that FEMA is no longer has the funds nor does the Red Cross like they used to have back in the 90s. If you think back then, there was a lot more support that came to hurricane victims. See, I lost everything in 1998 also. That was the first time I became homeless. This was a record flood in the city that I live in, which is Victoria, Texas, and that flood was just like Katrina. The river levees broke and it inundated the area that I live, the south part of town. And FEMA did have come in and step in and help during that time that we were living in that residence. I don't believe that that's the case now for a lot of the Floridians and people in the North Carolina that were impacted, and a lot of the stuff that's going on now. I don't believe that that there are funds like there used to be, and I do believe that a lot of them are going to struggle. I do feel like we're going to start seeing a lot of catastrophic storms that are unprecedented that we've never heard of before, impacting the world. This is going to be category sixes, like stronger than a category 5, and not just hurricanes. And I feel like Puerto Rico is going to be hit at some point within the next 2 years or less from this reading. Even the Caribbeans, we're going to see a lot more activity. I also feel like the world in the next 10 years is going to go through a cool down, whereas we've been having a heat. Our winters are going to be a lot more intense as well. We're going to see a lot more Arctic type of conditions throughout the United States. So we need to be prepared. Global warming is something that is, you could say it's not happening. It is happening. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that is changing. The world as we know it is changing. Now, it's not the end of the world. I don't see that, but I do feel like a lot of these weather patterns, like I said, are changing, and it's going to cause a lot of destruction. This is a spiritual warfare too that we're going on. Esto es una guerra espiritual entre el mundo de los ángeles y los demonios. Estamos pasando por una temporada bien oscura aquí en los Estados Unidos, pero en el mundo, alrededor del mundo, hay hay una pelea espiritual que está sucediendo ahorita, pero vamos a triunfar. So the light workers, we're here on earth right now to triumph. We can cut it out. Okay, so this is like maybe like more Mexican or Latino backgrounds, or maybe it might be a form of different religions. But my mom used to work with a machete. She would go out and like cut the air at night sometimes, trying to get rid of evil, etc. She was a very spiritual person. I think she didn't even know her own abilities, but was very strong. Recently in July, I was hosting a family from California here in my house, and I during that whole time there was a hurricane that was heading our way. It veered off into Houston, and went up there that way, but it was coming our way directly. It shifted at the last minute. One of the things that I did that I've never done before is I remember there was a friend of ours that told me to get a knife and to point it in the direction of the air like an athame, and just point it and command that storm to go. Now, I'm not saying that I'm powerful or that made that happen, but what I am saying is that I do feel like that I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that are shamans, healers, spiritual people that have done this, maybe even Native Americans that are looking at this video. Pero lo que estaba diciendo es que en julio tuve una familia que estaba quedándose conmigo, y había un huracán que venía directamente donde yo vivo, pero a la última hora cambió de curso y se fue para Houston. Y lo que yo hice es usé una navaja y lo apunté en el aire y le dije que se fuera, que el sistema que se fuera, que no iba a pegar, y no pegó. So what I'm saying is, like, I pointed that knife in the air and I said, go away. And I commanded the storm to go away, and it did go. It didn't hit us, it veered, it shifted. I was hoping it would go to the Gulf and dissipate and not hit anybody. It was never my intention for that to happen, to hit Houston and all the other areas that were impacted, but it was a catastrophic storm as well. I just feel like there's going to be a lot more of this that we're seeing. as weather patterns, earthquakes. The world is we're going through a spiritual warfare. Like I said, a lot of it is engineered. There's also other theories and beliefs that a lot of these weather systems are coming from Africa, which they are. A lot of these hurricanes originate, and that the slaves, the souls of the slaves that have perished and stuff, are sending that to us. But I don't believe that either. I do believe that, um, you know, there's definitely a battle going on, but it's not just slaves. There are things that in these areas like plantations and stuff where slaves were killed or murdered, that their souls are seeking justice, and their spirits are from the other side doing that. But with the hurricanes, I don't feel that. I do feel that a lot of these are not normal hurricanes. Back when in the 80s, when I was growing up, I was born in 1982. I know that looked like I'm 21, but yo sé que parezco como que tengo 21 años de edad, pero no, pero yo crecí en los 80s, y en esa temporada no habían estos sistemas que ahora que estamos teniendo aquí en los Estados Unidos. No estaba tan caliente como ahora está, no estaba tan frío como ahora está. Pero that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, back in the 80s when I was raised and growing up, uh as a child, we didn't have these systems that you're hearing about, hurricanes every summer, or we didn't hear about like the heat was bearable. I remember playing outside in summer, walking with my mom, to the park. It was breathe, you could breathe. It didn't feel like the your skin was on fire, or that you were going to burn, or just like things were a lot different. Our weather patterns were a lot normal. They weren't being interfered as much as they are now. Now, why are they being interfered with? What is it the government is doing? If again, if the government has any say in this, or NASA or whoever is doing this weather seeding and clouding, a lot of it could be for population control. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only, and allegedly, but I want to share my my insights. And a lot of you that know, if you know, that a lot of the stuff that I spill and say it's not just said for any reason, that is validity behind it. And I do feel like there is definitely some of these we're like experiments right now here on Earth, and well, in the United States, we're being experimented on with the powers that be. A lot of this could be for population control. A lot of this could be to weaken certain people and certain states, so that they will be dependent on the powers that be. Again, this is not something that's going to be revealed. It's not something that's really, we're considered conspiracy theorists, ooh. But if you look at it, I'm not the only truth teller out there. There's a lot of people that are saying it, and that have been saying it for time and time again. This is not normal. I also feel this is, we're going through, Florida's going to go through a long period of recovery, and wherever else this storm is going to be going to and hitting, there's going to be a hard path, and there's going to be a lot of loneliness. But we as light workers need to keep the light. If you can, when you see this video in the next couple of hours, say prayers for Florida. Si cuando ustedes miren este video, si pueden hacer oraciones o rezar por la gente que vive en Florida o por el mundo entero, eso nos va a ayudar mucho, especialmente a la gente que vive en Florida. So again, just praying is going to be very, very essential. I feel like there's going to be um, a lot of disruption, but there is hope that they will recover. Floridians are very, very strong. Florida is a very strong state, and like I said, they're used to hurricanes, but I feel like you should not take this one lightly. Stock up now if you're going to stay. Be prepared for prolonged power outages, for a lot of trees falling down, power lines, but I feel like, again, just stay strong. There's this feeling like the universe is going to, I almost feel like within 8 days after this hits, there's a lot of more recovery going on. Things will get better. So this could be like a lot of power being restored in some of these areas. But I do feel the devil card. So this is definitely a lot of high level magic also manifesting all this. This is a very satanic type of energy. This is what I'm going back to, spiritual warfare, the forces of dark. the principalities, if you want to go back to the verbiage that the doctrine teaches us. It has been believed that Satan, or the dark one, whatever you want to call it, is the principality that controls the air, also controls the music, controls the weather patterns. And why would God give this person, this angel, or this evil, such great control over the system? Remember that God allowed this person to be freed, but that there is always going to be a balance between good and evil. And so I feel like a lot of this is happening, and the powers that play with the dark side are trying to get people that are like myself, you guys that are listening, that are in the light, to doubt that there is a God. It's the same thing, no different than when you think about atheists or people who don't necessarily believe in God or whatnot. A lot of people turn that way sometimes because they have lost, or they've lost someone they've loved, or they have been through so much, and they're like, where's God? I don't believe that God exists. And that's the greatest lie that the devil tries to plant in the minds and hearts of humanity, which is to make you think you know, that God doesn't exist, that there isn't a higher power. The fact is that there is a higher power, and that there are warrior angels and guardian angels that surround and protect us. And I call upon the warrior angels and the healing angels and God's archangels to surround Florida and to divert this system, that it is broken, we rebuke it in the name of Jesus. We call upon blessings for the people of Florida, and all that this storm just weakens down to a category 1, by the time, or dissipates completely. That's the hope and the prayers here. Now, the reality, like I said, of what I've seen is destruction happening. But I do believe through this, a lot of a lot of families are going to come together. There's going to be a lot of support and relief that's going to be coming from other states. I see other states coming in to help with the power lines, the restorations, and everything. So they will get through this. I do believe that this is going to be maybe one, or maybe there might be another storm before, but I feel like this is practically, I believe hurricane season ends in November. I feel like this will be the last major hurricane that hits Florida, or the East Coast, but I could be wrong. Again, I'm not God. I don't pretend to be, but I do feel like there's a lot of darkness when it comes to this. I also wanted to talk about another subject here. So as we finish this subject about Florida, I want to talk about the month of October. And it is known for a lot of stuff, like seances, playing with the Ouija board, communing with the dead, divination. I just urge you to take caution there, because the veil is a lot thinner, even though the veil has been thin for years. This month in particular, it's always thought that the veil is more supercharged. The reason that it's more thinner, or it's more supercharged, is because it all has to do with the people and the energy. Every season, every month brings a different holiday. So November is Dia de los Muertos. It's also Thanksgiving. So it's celebrated in a different way. People put their thoughts and energies into, having the meal, baking a turkey, roasting a turkey, or, making tamales, whatever your customs are, cutting a ham, whatever those traditions are. Those are like your religious beliefs, your traditions that have been set for that month. Just like, right around when November hits, or people already probably have their Christmas decorations up already too. Just like that, it's that season. And so a lot of energy is put into that. October is about Halloween, dressing up like demons, ghouls. So a lot of energy is put into that. So if you kind of see where I'm going with this month is very supercharged because of the energy and intentions that we're putting in as the world celebrates this holiday. Now, a lot of you that don't partake in it, you're not part of that, but if you have abilities, even though you don't partake in it, you will still have some kind of impact in seeing things, feeling things a lot. But I urge people to really be very mindful of your energy and where you're going this month. A lot of witches, people that do dark magic, will definitely use this month to their advantage. It can set the tone and the precedence for other parts of the year and what that will look like for you. So stay in the light, stay rooted, and stay, grounded as well. This is going to be a very intense month. You also have to think about the election. I don't want to talk about politics here, but let's be honest. It is the election. You know, there's a early voting that's going to start. Go out there and vote. But at the same time, there's a lot of from the one side political side and another political side and all this energy that's being thrown that's negative at each other, and as a whole this creates a lot of intense energy this month. Why this is why I'm saying that it's a very easy month for things to happen, to manifest, that we may be outside of your control. So expect the unexpected, but don't get discouraged. But I also just want you to be vigilant, be mindful of energy and stuff of that. Also wanted to talk about going out at night. Now, it might be a Latino thing or a culture, but I have always been told by my mom that's not when she was alive. But for those of you that don't know, she passed away in July of last year. And I do miss her, and I talk to her every day, and I know that she's with me, and she's in God's kingdom. But one of the things that she always talked about was going out at night. And my mom wasn't the type of person, once she was in her late 30s and she was raising me, we never really went out a lot at night. And I didn't understand that. Years later, she explained it to me, is that there's a lot of, just like we have the daytime, the world is divided between a day and a night. The day is the light time. People are, going, they're working. People work at night too, but a lot of times people sleep at night, and our souls gravitate to the astral, right? We dream. It is believed that if you're already in bed or you're laying down, it's not a good idea to go out at night. The reason why is because a lot of espíritus or spirits are out there. Si están ya en la noche acostados, están descansando, no es buena idea ir para afuera, porque los espíritus están rodando. Hay más actividad entre las horas de medianoche hasta las 5 de la mañana. So what I'm saying is like, that's why we call it the witching hour, from 12 a.m. up until 5 a.m. It is the spiritual activity hour. So a lot of things sometimes come out at night, and these are not necessarily the good. I do believe that the night is controlled sometimes by the dark, meaning that demons, darker entities, otherworldly beings come out more at night. This is why sometimes we see a lot more UFO activity at night, because it's more visible. There's not a lot of people looking. People are not really moving around. And if you think about half of the world, when it's nighttime, they're probably, if you're not working, that could be just a bad estimate, but a lot of people are asleep. And in that moment, their souls are not in their bodies. They're traveling. I mean, it's still connected to you, but you're traveling. So, but yeah, I just feel like there's just so much going on in the world right now that it's a scary place, sometimes to be in. But if you have to go out at night, and, be very mindful of your energy, say a prayer, carry your black tourmaline, your selenite, whatever crystal or amulet of protection, but carry it, but just be vigilant with the surroundings. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Gracias por estar aquí. Por favor, suscríbete a mi canal, oprima el botón rojo que dice subscribe, suscribe, y también oprima la campanita que tienes ahí para que estén notificados de todos los videos que estoy teniendo aquí en el canal. Si quieren una consulta psíquica, también hago consultas psíquicas por el teléfono, por el Zoom, por video o por correo electrónico. Por favor, pueden ir a mi página www.raymondguzman.net. Again, all of my readings are 30% off right now, with the exception of online group reading. So if you'd like to book a reading, have a private reading, I do speak Spanish, you can come to my website. It's www.raymondguzman.net /readings. Also, right now I have a BOGO offer for any emergency reading that's purchased. I have 2 types of emergency readings, one by email, one by video. So if you purchase one, you get one free. That's for a limited time offer. And also, I will be in Houston on October 19th at Indigo Moons. I will be having my Psychic Night gallery reading, where I read people in a gallery style, which is like an audience seating arrangement. And I read people. So it's not like private, but it is very respectful. And usually there's a lot of fun and laughs. We had one just recently, and it was it was amazing. Made a lot of good connections with a lot of beautiful souls. So I look forward to seeing you. Remember, I am getting booked very, very fast for like group parties and events right now. I don't have anything booked closer to Halloween. So if you want to book me for let's say you're having an online Halloween party and you want to have like a online Zoom and you can have up to 5 people or you can have a little bit more. But that may vary in price, but I have a set price for up to 5 people. This is an online group through Zoom, and everybody will be read. And that is a package that I offer on my website. So if you're interested in doing that for a Halloween entertainment, now's the time to book me because I'm going to be booked very fast. Like I said, I already am doing that. And I'll be in Goliad, Texas this weekend at the Soul Emporium from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. doing private readings there. So that's in Goliad, Texas. So I look forward to seeing you guys. I love you so much. Also, don't forget to go to my Patreon, www.patreon.com/psychic medium Ray. I'm going to have an online group reading soon there, and it's $10 to subscribe. You can cancel at any given time. Hopefully you stay. I do make a lot of video and content for that specific group. So look forward to seeing you guys. All right, guys, I love you. Bye.